and welcome back to the current review. My name is Thamsanqa, sometimes known as TT, sometimes known as Chairman. Today we have got the privilege of speaking to the MEC for Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation in the Free State, Mayor Zanele Sifuba. We'll be speaking about, I think, what's happening for the entirety of this month. This month being dedicated to heritage of South Africans, and specifically yesterday, having been a day designated as a national heritage holiday in South Africa. And I've got a whole preparation here for, talking about, in introduction, talking about, this discussion that we're going to be having today. But I want to jump straight into the discussion because I think most of us have an understanding of what heritage is. So MEC, thank you very much for having joined us. Heritage Month is an important time of reflection for many of us as South Africans. How important is it, in your view, that we honor not only the past, but we also use heritage as a tool to build a better future for the Free State and our country as a whole?
Thank you very much, Thamsanqa. Allow me to say this day, the 24th of September, its celebration and identified as a Heritage Day goes back to the decision that was taken by our government way back in 1995, changing Shaka Day to Heritage Day for South Africans to celebrate their culture. And since 1996, declared as a holiday. Now, this gives the people of South Africa to be able to celebrate their culture. And we, as the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, we have a mandate of nation building and social cohesion. So we are a department that is tasked to make sure that we take a center stage in encouraging and ensuring that the people of South Africa and the province of the Free State in particular participate in cultural activities. Hence, as a province, we've been having a number of activities that speaks to the very same mandate of nation building and social cohesion.
And I think speaking about that, MEC, dedicating yesterday to celebrating our cultures and so on, it seems that we are as a country celebrating only that aspect of our heritage, which is cultural recognition. And there are so many things about heritage that we need to recognize, that I think, in my view, we're not really paying a lot of attention to. Such things as our monuments that we have in the province that must be recognized as part of our heritage. Such things as the dome, the Vredefort Dome heritage site. What are we doing? What is the department doing to recognize these these monuments that our people should be able to recognize and say, but this is part of our heritage as well? Because at the moment, it seems that some of these are benefiting a certain number of people, whereas Rona, we are just left to celebrate our culture.
The good thing about me as a person is that I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to advices, because at the end of the day, I'm not representing myself in government. Whatever I'm doing it on behalf of the people of the Free State. When they come to me and say, would like you as the department to consider this, that will be done. But I must say that if you looked at the theme, which was determined by National this year, it says celebrating the lives of our heroes and heroines who laid down their lives for our freedom. So it means that on its own, it's not only about culture. We are looking back to where we are coming from the years of struggle, because we needed to remember and reflect that there are families families who are still mourning their loved ones, who have not received closure. Hence, as part of the celebration of this month at national level, we are busy with the process of repatriation of the remains of our heroes and heroines who perished in foreign countries during the years of struggle. But moving forward, indeed, we cannot wait for that specific day of the 24th of September to be able to celebrate only culture. Recently, we had a meeting with the executive, in fact, the directorate of arts and culture. And we did mention that we must go and visit. I still need to go and do site visits on our heritage sites. I've been to museums in the Free State. I need to go to the Dome. And there are people from Mangaung who have also made a submission to say, we want to have a monument for our heroes and heroines. If you can do that for us, I think we'll be satisfied as the people of Mangaung. And I said to them, you are welcome. Just present that proposal to me so that we can be able to take it forward. As I said it, that I am open to suggestions because I cannot do what I want. I must be able to do what the people of the Free State want, what their suggestion, and what that will speak to their hearts and be satisfied that they have the government that represents them at the end of the day.
No, indeed, MEC, and we see that in fact, the Deputy President Paul Mashatile presided over the national celebration here in the Free State, honoring the lives of who fought for freedom. And that is what we're speaking about just now, in the honor of the heroes and heroines. Now, from your perspective, what does this year's theme, mean exactly to the people of the Free State, and how do you see it resonating with the broader South African, population?
I should start by saying, in the Free State, we've got two families that whose loved ones are part of this process. On the 27th, we are going to Pretoria to be able to have that ceremony that welcomes them back, the remains. So to the people of the Free State, we have our own that for this year's process are involved. But to the people of the Free State, we are saying, if we are going to move forward, if we are going to know how to design our government and what we want to see government doing, we cannot forget where we are coming from. We will keep reflecting, because if we do that, we won't be able to talk about issues like transformation, because we must remember those people were fighting for change. Those people were fighting for the rights as they are enshrined in our constitution. Those people were fighting to see that everybody is included in our economy. Everybody is included in the decision-making process in terms of lawmaking and everything that is there in our constitution. So I expect the people of the Free State to be able to rejoice this time around, because one of their own, the family of Liwatle and Tau, their people will be coming back home so that those families can be able to find closure. There might be some other families in the process, in the province, that will be identified in the future, because we have made a decision to say these 5 years under the ministry at national, given mandate by the president, of course, that the remains of our people that are still laying out there in the foreign countries should be brought back home so that those families can find closure. We really, really owe that to them, because we might be celebrating this freedom, but to them, it's not freedom up until their loved ones are brought back so that they know where their remains are laid.
Indeed, the Free State has a very rich history and plays a vital role in South Africa's heritage. What specific initiatives or programs is your department undertaking to preserve and promote this heritage, especially in rural and historically disadvantaged areas?
For this year, we've just had right now. I'm at the sports center. There are indigenous games taking place. All the 5 districts are there, indigenous games that are reminding us who we are. I'm looking at them playing right now. Yesterday, we hosted the Heritage Day on the 21st of September. We held successful sports awards in the Free State, celebrating our sportsmen and women that we know they are doing a good job out there. There are proposals on my table on how we should move forward. I made an example of a monument that the people of Mangaung are proposing, that we should have a monument because they need to see that, so that Mangaung is, for example, is recognized because it has a rich history. I should also mention, Tamsang, that the Wesleyan Church, where the African National Congress as the movement was formed, has been inscribed as a World Heritage Site. We must make sure that that site meets the world standard, so that the people of the Free State will be able to say, there is the venue that held a meeting that at the end of the day was the beginning of what was going to be the change, of what was going to be the liberation movement that was going to work and make sure that we fight towards liberating this country from the chains of the oppressor prior 1994 backwards.
No, thank you very much, MEC. Last week, I think I was speaking to your colleague there in the Executive Council, MEC Makume, talking about the need for linkages between the departments, in particular your department as well as the department of his department, which is finance, tourism, and so on. And this question I'm about to ask you, I think specifically speaks to that, that heritage is not only about remembering the past, but also about creating opportunities for the future. Now, how does the Free State plan to harness its cultural and historical assets to drive tourism and economic development in the province?
Yes, you are correct. The 2 departments, they are linked. They are intertwined, because whatever we do in our department to attract the people, it also spills over to tourism, because when people come to view our heritage sites, when people come to join the cultural activities of festivals that we hold, tourism comes in, and also there are economic spin-offs. So I think what we need to do, working together, is to intensify the programs that are going to attract more people, because remember, Free State is 2nd or 3rd in terms of unemployment. So working together, we are able to boost the issues of economy. Working together, we are able to attract the people to come and when they attend the events of our departments, they will also be attending and seeing the heritage sites that we are having in the province. We are still within 100 days as this new 7th administration. So there is a lot to be done. All these things that you are talking about are the things that are in our plans as the 7th administration, to be able to say, how do we go back to our different districts and towns and identify those areas where our heritage sites are, working together with that department. Of course, we've been saying we are going to have a meeting together and be able to identify which areas that we can work together and make sure that we make an impact in the province.
And the younger generation plays a very important role in carrying forward our heritage. What measures are being taken to ensure that heritage education is effectively integrated into the schools across the Free State, and how does the province engage, in these conversations? Are you in any way engaging with the Department of Education, Basic Education, in order to be able to integrate, the knowledge of our heritage in our curriculums?
I know that Department of Education has arts and culture as a subject. And I know that the teachers who are teaching arts and culture, they do get workshops by the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation in the province. But what is left of us as the two departments is to be able to meet and come up with a memorandum of understanding. Because if we are going to get into schools, we are getting into another terrain, which also involves many stakeholders. There are teachers there. There are labor unions there. Everybody should be brought on board so that when the department gets into that space, there will be collaboration and cooperation so that we can be able to work together. But as we speak right now, as I was meeting the different directorates when I came into the department, I was informed that the department is helping the teachers who are teaching arts and culture so that they can equip them with the skills and knowledge so that they can go and impart that to the learners at our schools. But I must also say that through the activities that I've mentioned, we have so many people who are coming to the department giving us proposals on arts and culture activities. But we always emphasize that in those programs, we want the young upcoming artists to be involved in those programs, because ours is for giving opportunities to the youth. Ours is ensuring that there is also development of the youth through arts and culture and sports, of course.
There's another question that I'm interested to ask you. We all of us, we refer to the 24th of September as National Heritage Day, but there are others who have chosen to call it Braai Day. What is your view with regards to that?
Braai Day, Braai is a heritage of a certain a group of people. You'll remember South Africa is a diverse country and we embrace that diversity. So the Heritage Day is meant for all South Africans to celebrate their culture or their heritage the way they see it fit. If you go to an African or white community, you will find that they celebrate it by doing a braai. If you go to Cape Town, you'll find out they celebrate it by having those dances of those glamorous outfits marching down the streets of Cape Town. If you come to the Free State, you'll find out the dominant side of celebration is that of celebrating the Basotho culture. Like you must have seen yesterday that the dominant culture in yesterday's activities was that of Basotho. But of course, that does not mean Basotho are the only people living in the Free State. But what I'm trying to display is that we've got, as South Africa, we've got diverse cultures. We have many languages that are spoken, and we must also remember that language is also forming part of culture as well. There are many practices that they used to do in the past. So the Heritage Day is not really streamlined to say this is how you're going to celebrate. I like it when we put it in our own language, in our Sesotho language, when we say re keteka botjhaba ba rona. So botjhaba is not a single thing or unique just to one group of people. Though the many people, many cultures, many different people that live in our country and in our provinces are allowed to celebrate. And there is this thought that comes into mind right now. I was listening to one radio station, I can't remember what it was, when the news reader was referring to Shaka Day, and I was saying, but since 1995, that day was changed from being Shaka Day into being a Heritage Day so that it can be inclusive of everybody. So we cannot call that day a Braai Day. It is a Heritage Day, and we must respect it as such, because it is written in our laws as a Heritage Day. In our calendar, it is a Heritage Day. It cannot be a Braai Day. It cannot be a Shaka Day, even though those people who believed that they need to celebrate Shaka, but they must know that they are celebrating Shaka within the umbrella of the Heritage Day. Those that are celebrating it by doing the Braai, they must know that they are celebrating their Braai, which is their culture, within the umbrella of the Heritage Day, because we cannot defy government when they say this is what the day is meant for, and then people will try to name it what they want to. You cannot name Christmas Mohammed Day, for example, even if you know that you are celebrating according to your religion in that day. I'm just making an example because Christmas is Christmas.
I hear you. And in your recent budget vote speech, you highlighted several key areas of investment in the arts and culture. Could you elaborate on how these allocations will directly contribute to, heritage preservation and community upliftment, particularly under, in the under-resourced areas?
We are planning in making sure that as a department with limited resources that we are having, that whatever program that we have, we must be able to also take it to smaller areas to be able to attract the people to join. I'll go back, you'll forgive me, I'll go back to yesterday's event. Feedback, Sitsoto is a smaller area in the Free State, but we made sure that an event of that magnitude that the national office gave it to us that we must hold, we took it to that corner of our province so that we can attract more people. And there was economic spin-offs. There was economic development, because it means the caterers who were doing the catering for the more than 6,000 people that were there came from Sitsoto. The hospitality industries of that area benefited because many people had to fly in to go and seek accommodation in those areas. So as much as we don't necessarily have investment, because we are not an economic development department, but ours is based on the activities that promotes national building and social cohesion. But through them, there will be then these economic spin-offs that comes out of them. So we are going to make sure that we spread our activities throughout the province. We will go to Harib, we will go to the smaller areas of Fezile Dabi, of Thabo Mofusanyana, of Veleko, of Lijoliposa, and so on, so that we make sure that we reach every area of our province.
And how can MEC, how can the people of the Free State, especially those who come from smaller towns, like the ones that you've mentioned, and rural areas, become more involved in heritage conservation efforts? And are there any community-driven initiatives that the public can actively participate in?
I just mentioned today that we have the indigenous game. Indigenous games speak to heritage. Here we've got all the 5 districts represented. We've got there is what we call the home brew that we hold, where we take the artists from different districts. And maybe I should also mention that in every district there is an arts and culture office. There are people who are employed there to be able to help us in identifying the artists from smaller areas, so that when we do these activities, those people must come on board. When they finally come to home brew at the level of the province, then we know that those are the artists that come from smaller areas in our province. When we have Makufe, like we are going to do next year, from home brew, the artists that shall have participated in the home brew event are the ones that we are going to make sure that they get a platform on the Makufe stage, a Makufe that will be a broader stage than that of the home brew. So through our activities and through our centers, art centers, we are trying by all means to reach the smaller areas in the corners of the Free State.
And interestingly, you mentioned Makufe, and there are and there are two festivals taking place there in Mangaung, which are seemingly replacing Makufe temporarily, albeit.
Yes.
Is your department playing any supportive role in those festivals that are taking place there?
We are encouraging, for starters, that because the department does not have Makufe, and the people of the Free State are used to having that vibe towards that time, we're encouraging the public to support those two main. I'll refer to the two because they are the ones who have occupied those dates of Makufe. The public will go and support those, and I know that one of the two hosts of the festivals has approached our national government to try and ask for contributions, and the contributions have been received by that host. So yes, there is an element of government because we are a unitary government. Although it did not necessarily come directly from us, but it came from national as a support to the Free
Why did
State.
it not come from MEC? Let me ask you that question.
Sorry?
Why did it not come from you, that support? Why did it have to come from national government and not through you being here in the Free State?
It is because one, the person took an initiative to approach national, but as the Free State, he took that initiative. As the Free State, we said the resources that we're going to use for Makufe, we are going to use them to support other activities, activities that will be taking place in the Free State. It might not only be these two, because there are other proposals that we have on the table of the people who are saying, we wish to do this as the district, we wish to do that as the district, but we are saying to them, as long as whatever you are doing involves the artists in the Free State, we are going to see how we support that initiative, because the fact is that as the province, we are not holding Makufe. And I want to take this opportunity to say next year, the province is going to host Makufe because Makufe is the flagship program of government. So next year, we are bringing Makufe back on the same dates that we usually use for Makufe. And that is that. But for this year, we want the people of the Free State to go and enjoy in the activities that have been put out there for this year.
Thank you very much. And in closing, MEC, what message would you like to share with the people of the Free State and South Africa about the role of heritage in nation building? How can we all contribute to preserving our shared history while building a more inclusive and united future?
I just want to say to the people of the Free State, let us use this time, and not this time alone, to make sure that we forge social cohesion, we forge nation building, because if we do not do that, we cannot move forward as a country. We must be able to work together, not only cultural activities, sports for that matter, forms part of our heritage. We've got legends who've been playing football. That is why when it comes to the Free State, if you take the games, you bring games to Free State, whether it's rugby, whether it's soccer, you'll have the stadium overflowing. Let us continue in that spirit. And what I like with these activities and the sports is that you will never see people fighting. People love one another, even if they are in contesting areas at the end of the day. But we want to say, let us work together. Let us build Free State. The department is open to embracing what the people of the Free State want to see happen in the province. I thank you.
That is MEC Zanele Sifuba talking to us about very important issues in the Free State. Our heritage program, which happened yesterday, which was presided over by the Deputy President, as well as herself as the MEC for sports, arts, culture, and recreation in our province. Also reassuring the people of the Free State that Makufe will be back next year, and also encouraging the people of the Free State and throughout the country, by the way, that those days which are going to be dedicated to entertainment through these other festivals that are taking place, let's go out there and support them. Yes, MEC, I think I'm capturing you correctly, right?
Thank you. Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. Before you go off, let's just go to a short break and we'll be back just now. Before the MEC leaves.